tough business, guys. Comedy is a tough business. You have to find different ways to kind of stand out and, you know, make your mark, you know, so to say. My next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is someone that I've had the pleasure of getting to know fairly recently. I mean, I've known of him for a very long time. He's been around for a long time in the industry, but I've only had the pleasure to hang out with him fairly recently, and every time I have to say I've had some of the most fun one could imagine. Like, this guy is hilarious when he's in the zone. He's non-stop, dude. When he has a conversation with you, it's not a conversation, it's a mini series. There are seasons, and every season, every episode thoroughly entertaining. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aakash Mehta.
I was going to continue on the bitching about Danny thing, but now I have to be nice.
Yeah.
But your face is great, huh? If you are hairier, I'd fuck you. Like, it's just the lack of. He's too chikna. Like, Bhalu chikne ko kaise chote? Sorry, I have made an impression already. I feel.
But this is what I mean, Akash. And I was talking about this the other day as well. When we hung out at the Chandigarh Comedy Festival.
I didn't hang out with you as much as I hung out with.
Akash is like, hey, hang on a second. How vocal is Danny about his personal life?
Yeah,
Hang on a second.
I
Am I allowed to read?
Yeah.
But yes, that's what I meant. And I was telling her as well that, and she was talking about you after we got back, and like, Akash, my God, he's such a character. Goodness, because once he starts talking, once he's in the zone, he just takes off, and it's so much fun to watch.
I have a lot to say. I'm the youngest sibling, you know. So.
Yeah, and he can talk. Aakash Mehta can talk, right? So Puneet Pania, Aakash Mehta, and I and some other people were hanging out together after the Chandigarh form, and Akash is in the zone, and he's talking, and Puneet said something with such dry delivery. It shattered my mind, and I could not stop laughing, you know. And Akash just kept talking non-stop, and then Puneet just standing there quietly goes, I am convinced that people like this go back to their hotel room and start crying. And it was one of those moments where, you know, you're watching a conversation take place, but you're not expecting a line to come from here. And because all of us were quite high that night, we were all enjoying ourselves. So I, as a comedian, when comedians hang out, it's so great because you can see each other doing our thing, where you can see how every guy is funny in his own way. It's kind of like if we were all superheroes, you could see them using their superpowers. While it happens, which
to
is
make
so
serial and all, not in crime fighting situations.
Yeah, it's just like so when Akash speaks, I get to see why he's a certain kind of comedian, right? So Puneet is also that kind of guy who's the quietest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, as I'm looking at Akash have the conversation, the line from Puneet, I can see it going. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Before the line even hit the target, I was like, wow, that's a good line. I'm so jealous you came up with that line,
dude,
Puneet.
I've wished to Puneet so much about my life in general that Puneet is like, I don't know if you know, in one of the videos he also said, like, I think I am the most likely to kill myself in the comedy scene. You know what I mean?
Is that?
No, it's not. It's funny only. It's okay. Don't worry.
And it's okay, even if it happens, we need someone to take that.
Somebody has
to put India on the map.
I'll have to write one elaborate
we've had everything else, right? So many different levels of success.
Dude,
and global
we got
recognition.
to Me Too so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we'd take like fucking at least 20 years for this shit to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, as soon as Me Too hit in 2008, it was 7 years in, and already people are touching people.
Yeah.
By God. Like, at least wait, no, for 10 years. What the fuck is this? I'm just listen, hey. I'm not the one touching. I'm just the one commenting.
Been keeping these hands in these pockets. That's it. But my point being is, yes, in India, if you follow the Indian comedy scene over the last few months, and the last year especially, has gotten a lot of global recognition in different ways. I just think it's time that one of us, you know, kind of pulls it back a bit and for a more edgier news story. Like, so a comedian kills himself because the audience did not laugh.
First of all, I will not kill myself because the audience laughs. If anything, I will kill myself when the audience laughs at the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Because that fucks with me even more. Because
on stage itself.
that's what I'm judging with on a day-to-day basis. It's like, oh my god, I said this thing and I hate the fact that I said it, and the fact more than that, I hate that everyone laughed at it. You know what I mean? Okay, let me explain. This happens after you do a Netflix reality show. Listen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I did a Netflix reality show. Now all these Netflix people are coming to watch me. Who the fuck are they? I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like them one bit. I have a comedy audience. I am not famous or whatever the fuck. I used to do tours before I was famous, right? So now I have made an audience over the years, like bit by bit, person by person. ऐसा गांड घिस घिस चंद्रापुर गया तुम लोग कभी भेंचोद? हाँ, मैं उधर शो किया है, ठीक है? एक से ज़्यादा. So all this effort you put in, you make an audience, and when you get to the audience, the first thing I do on stage is I laugh because I get too happy. Right? So I go, and then everyone, that's the appropriate response, where the audience goes, you know? And then I see the Netflix fuckers staring at me like, and I'm just like, तुम लोग zone में ही नहीं है, तुम लोग आया क्यों इधर सुनने को? फिर मैं कुछ भी जोक करता है, मेरा गांड मारते रहते हो लोग. इसके बारे में बोल दिया, उसके बारे में बोल दिया, आदरणीय so and so, fuck off. That's my problem. All I say, and you know the biggest problem, in Delhi I was doing this show, half the audience, first time, okay, like after the Netflix thing, nobody from Netflix used to come. And then, and yeah, because I know. मैं भी दोस्त का use कर रहा है. So now one fine day, 50% of the audience has seen the show. So I'm thinking, oh my god, it's smart people. They saw me do the thing on the thing, and they've come to watch me. And the only joke I did is, this is the joke I did. You can cut it out of the podcast if you want, but at least somebody should know. Okay? I say I went on my honeymoon. Okay? I went on my honeymoon. I went to Kochi. Why I went on honeymoon? Because I was supposed to. Okay? I had no fucking interest. I was in a live-in relationship with my girlfriend. मैं कुछ गलत नहीं किया था. तो honeymoon पे जाके मैं क्या कर? मैं चोदने को तो नहीं जा रहा. Let's be very clear about this. Okay, we all know why people go to Shimla, motherfucking, because the walls are thick because of the cold, and nobody can hear you scream. And now I'm in Kochi, and my thing is very straightforward. Listen, for like, you know, Danny, you get it better than anyone else. We don't make money like they do. Right? They make lump sum money at the end of the month or some shit like that. हम लोग ऐसा 499 आज तो sorry 299 है ना? So it's just like you really respect the money you've made. That's why I don't gamble, because I know where I had to go to make the money I'm gambling. So I've gotten the top floor suite and everything, and my logic is fairly straightforward. I'll go around, I'll see Kochi, I'll go to the spice market and all and sniff shit and all, come home and I'll acquire some ganj or some shit, and I'll smoke one joint in the evening in the balcony. I go to Kochi, no weed allowed. Why? Because Modi ji is coming to inaugurate a ship that doesn't work yet. एक आदमी कितना गांजा फूकेगा डैनी? एक आदमी कितना गांजा फूकेगा कि वो आ रहा है तो पूरे शहर को नहीं मिल रहा है? कितना गांजा फूकेगा यार? That's all I said. And this Delhi audience is looking at me like I've said some blasphemous shit about Jesus and all, who I don't know personally, but died for my sins. So his problem. But so it's a very, you know, I have a lot of frustrations. And the thing is, that day when I met Danny, I was in a very good mood. I was probably in the best mood I've been in a very long time. You know, and when I'm in a good mood, I like to share. And I remember the conversation went from the world is ending in 2050 to I cannot wait to live the rest of my life with my wife.
I'm still thinking about that punchline. एक आदमी कितना गांजा हो गया?
हाँ यार कि पूरे शहर को नहीं मिल रहा.
Yeah, but sometimes it depends on how much you're trying to forget, no? How much
Yeah, if
you
something
can't
is
live
exactly
with,
11 years ago.
How much you can't live with yourself,
Yeah.
so you need that much more to numb the pain.
No, fair. Especially when the thing
Yeah.
is exactly 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
He's scared now. He's not even on camera. He's like,
Yeah, that's what. And it's so annoying when I say the country is fascist and people are like, no. I'm like, क्या गांड मार रहा है dude? Like, घर पे मैं जोक मारते मेरे बाप का गांड फट जाता है. क्या बात कर रहे हो? घर पे जोक नहीं मार पा रहा है, बताओ. मेरा बाप बोल रहा है, ये फोन दूसरे रूम में रख के आ.
Your dad must be like, if we can hear you have sex in that room, no, then we can even hear the punchlines and the neighbors will hear. We can't have that happen.
It's not happening.
But pulling it back.
Yes.
Pulling it back. Like, that's kind of the vibe with Akash. You have to rein him in. He's like a pit bull. Like, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you as well.
But also, like, I was third, so I've had some time to
Yeah, he killed somebody inside there. He was just getting so restless. He's like, नहीं यार, आज किसी का murder कर लूँगा मैं. But Akash, what would you like to bitch about today?
This whole marriage fucking shit. Fucking don't get married. Avoid it. Do not get married. Find a person you love and then stay with them. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Not even your friends should know. One day they come over and there's a naked woman in the bedroom and they're like, who is this? Meri biwi hai. That's what all I'm saying. Because I feel like I fucked up, I feel like. Because I had this great thing going with this great girl, everything was going great. और अब ऐसा लग रहा है जो मैं चुपचाप कर रहा था उसमें खानदान involve हो गया. You know, so I just feel the institution of marriage is my greater cause of bitchiness. Also, although Abhi's talking about your triceps is also a problem. गिन के comedy में 7 अच्छे tricep है. Yeah, one comedian doesn't do both sides equally. So, and why he's bitching? Is it great?
Who are the other comedians
who have great triceps?
Yeah.
Punit Pania has great triceps.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever not noticed? Punit
I've
Pania is very
never
lithe as a person.
I've never noticed his triceps. No.
Yeah. I notice all the triceps. Because as you can see...
That's what I call good vibrations.
Wait till I slap my stomach. But no, this whole marriage thing is, and you know the problem is that you can't even like bitch about it anymore because then it gets tied into the whole like religious cultural thing. But the whole institution of marriage is such a backward thing, dude. And the fact like gay people are fighting for the right to get married, like not to get equals, like not to be able to be nominee in a life insurance. You know what I mean? Like it's horrible.
Are you saying that you prefer the time where you were dating your partner?
Yeah, I feel like what marriage essentially does is give the people around you permission to butt in. For those of you unmarried in the audience, you know what I mean? Like from everything from like, is the marriage going okay to when are you having a kid? Now suddenly 7 people have an opinion.
Do you feel you're suddenly answerable to more people after you get married?
100%. And you know, during as this whole evening has progressed, I was thinking about it in the green room while eating my roll, and something about having a mouthful, but
yeah, that's what
really
she
makes
said,
you think. You know, where is my life going? But I realized that it's also like you walk into it, no matter what you walked into it with. Once you're in it, your mindset changes and your expectations of yourself change.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that can be in a good way as well.
In a good way and a bad way. Now, what is a good husband in 2023?
Let's make a list.
What is no, I mean, like I do this on stage also, I'll walk you through it also. It's very straightforward. You know what I mean? With my parents' generation, our parents' generation, for example. It was like, I let my wife work, right? Like that was let being the operative word here. I let her work. You know what I mean? And now in my generation, our generation, who's saying I let my wife work? She works now. What the fuck will you do? She worked before you met her. So she's going to keep working after you met her. That's not a thing. You go a few generations beyond, it's even scarier, right? Because like our grandparents' generation is like, my grandparent, I remember my daji telling me one day saying, I never hit my wife. As if like somebody should give him a bouquet for it, you know? You know, so I mean, but if you go 5 generations worse, I'm Hindu, like it used to be like, oh, मैं कभी बीवी का सती नहीं होने देगा मेरे lifetime में.
Right.
And no, I'm just saying like the standards were really bad, you know what I mean? So what makes for a good husband now? Is a good husband the person who's cooking at home? Is that the good husband?
Do you cook at home?
Yeah, I cook at home.
That's a great husband.
I mean, yes,
like
I know,
ladies,
right?
What do you think? If you, like especially if you're a working woman, right? You're out there, you know what a working woman's life is like. It's not easy and you don't get paid as much as us. So you have to constantly prove yourself even more in all facets of life because of the gender discrimination that you experience. It's always that you need to do 2x of what another guy probably has to do. And in all of that shittiness, wouldn't it be really nice to come home to a man who cooks? Yeah. Like you come home and the food is ready. You do not have to cut onions. You have to do nothing. There's like hot food waiting.
Yeah, see, everyone
Isn't
says that, but
a great
you know what?
husband?
No, see, that's the problem. That's what everyone thinks. But you know what? The part you're ignoring that he doesn't mention because he doesn't cook.
I do. That's
okay.
what I do.
Okay, but now here's the question that maybe this is where I'm fucking up, right? Because what you like is the idea that someone cooks for you. What you will completely grow to hate is the fact that there's someone who asks you every day. Aaj kya khao?
No, I don't do that.
You don't do that.
Here's how I do it. Okay, so if I'm in charge of the kitchen, which I am, by the way, I run the kitchen in my house. I know the price of onions and tomatoes. So I run the kitchen. It's all me. So
The
I
moisture
decide.
in the room has gone up.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I decide
Yeah.
what's going to be
So
made.
you only pick and you only make, and she has to eat.
Yeah. But that's how it
That
should
feels
be.
kind
But
of authoritarian to me, Danny.
No, but I'd like if you take some things off the table. Like some decisions, if I don't have to make some decisions in a relationship,
Yeah.
that's a good thing, right?
No, but that's the thing. Like, we live in this weird age where all of us are influenced by what modern society thinks of an equal relationship versus
Fuck modern society
comes
and equality.
naturally.
You gotta fucking figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Right? Here's what works for me, okay? If
Like, I've never been married.
If I've never been married, yeah. If we are going on a holiday, and since you like planning, plan the holiday. I'm okay with it. I trust your judgment. I trust that you will,
Yeah.
schedule fun things to do, and I'll roll with it.
No, but it can also
And the same
come
way-
across as you being like, karke dikha. Right? At the number
No
of
wonder
nods
you're
I'm
so
getting in the
unhappy,
audience.
Akash.
I'm telling you, dude. It's a whole doozy, dude. Like, it's.
But do you genuinely feel that you tend to think about how your actions are coming across versus how much value they actually add to your life?
So I come from my mom is like, so my family is matriarchal. You have to understand that first, okay? Like, I didn't know about sexism till 12th standard. I genuinely didn't know. Because in my house, my mom runs the house. She is the more famous person between my parents.
She has more
She's a
Instagram
fucking
followers.
celebrity.
Yeah.
She's on Wikipedia. What the fuck else?
Yeah.
Like, you name all the male list of things to achieve in life. My mom did when I was like 5, right? So, so mere liye, like, there was no idea of like, oh, women don't do things men do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I came to junior college, I found out ki like, oh, your mom doesn't work. Because and people saying mere maa ka haath ka khana and all never happened because my mom works, so chef ke haath ka khana at the best, Also she doesn't know how to cook, but she's working, no. मैं comedian में बनाता बेंचो 6 घंटे का pasta sauce. So like, it for me that idea of being able to decide only is not there in life. Like, I'm not one to decide. I wait for permission or acknowledgement or approval from the. That's why I do comedy. Every 15 seconds they give me approval.
That's interesting. So, how does that translate to your romantic relationship then, like with your wife?
Is somebody who needs a lot of validation constantly 24/7, right? Like for chota cheez. Like I make it very apparent. It's not like I'm like, oh, तुमने दिया नहीं और मैंने बताया नहीं और अब मैं दुखी हूँ. It's like.
So do you feel like you're always trying to impress her?
100%. Every day, every single day of my life, I want to impress her. It's stupid. It's all लगता है, पर it's unhealthy and toxic as fuck. बस कितनी बार पास्ता सॉस बनाओगे? कितनी बार? So, and then you suddenly realize that is it even about her being impressed with you, or is it your own standards?
Your
that
own
you
need
set
for validation.
that
you
or your
feel.
own level of like, because like I'll
Self-hate? I don't know.
That is
Self-hate
better.
where in the sense where you feel like unless someone else says that you're good at something, you won't believe it.
No, I feel like comedy has fucked me up there also, where it's like,
I think you were fucked up before comedy.
know that without
I
going.
think comedy, you're able to channel how fucked up things are through your comedy.
I think one thing comedy helped me with is social stuff. Like I can't do. I have such bad anxiety. Like I'm fucking. One day I'm not on stage. I'm doing podcast. I'm fucking drinking 3 drinks before I go on. So anxiety really fucks me up. Every day also.
Yeah.
But so anxiety fucks me up, and I feel like my wife is like, or rather my partner is like one. Like gauge in my life of like, you're okay, I'm okay, right? I'm not fucking up too much, right? Like I'm constant, because I started the.
She's your North Star basically. So as long as she's saying, okay, you're doing fine, then you believe that you're doing fine.
Like there are times when I am in a social situation where I like, so the festival is a great example, right? Like I think one of the 2 people we were hanging out with who were extra, one of them only pointed out that the amount you talk, you must have crazy anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I do have crazy. That's why I fucking talk like a mad person. But if she was also there, then every now and then, every 3 minutes, I would look at her across the room and be like, "Main theek hai na?" And then she'd be like, "Ah," and I'd be like, "Okay, back to life," and then I'd be okay with it. Like, or if I go to a party and some shit, I keep going back to her for that validation, which I feel is exhausting for a person. But I'm at least my thing is I'll make it vocal. Like I'll come to her in the living room, I'll sit next to her, I'll say, "Sun, I love you," बोलना जरा 2-3 बार. अच्छा लगेगा तेरे को. सुबह से नहीं सुना है मैं, तो बता देना. I'm proud of you बोल दे कभी महीने में एक बार.
But that is so important. That's so true.
It's very important.
Here's something that you can try with your partner, right? For the longest time, I used to think that if they love me, they should express it organically
Right.
in a way that I like receiving it. For the longest time, I had that.
But would you tell them how
Yeah,
you like?
that's the delusion I had, or as you people say, delulu. That's what I thought was true love. Like if
Yeah.
it comes naturally, it's real love. It's only through years and years and years and years of experience I've now figured out that not everybody loves the same way.
I learned this through anal. I did. It's true.
Yeah, but
Same
Akash,
lesson.
Yeah, but I thought we were not going to talk about that.
वाह अभिष को टट्टी का बात कर सकता है
No, I'm like,
ए तो गलत है ना
yeah, that's because it was with Abhish while Akash was in the room. That's what I thought we were not going to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So then,
I digress.
how did that break come across to you? That like, what was the moment of realization for you?
there are many moments. There were just
Oh, yeah.
many moments. So I think like when you've dated a lot, you have a nice sample size to kind of, you can do a lot of research, a lot of research points, a lot of metrics that you can consider, and then you see patterns in your own behavior, patterns in their behavior.
Right.
You see different types of personalities, and you realize like, fuck, not everybody loves the exact same way.
Yeah.
So some people say I love you, and they do these gestures that be like, oh okay, they give you a compliment, and you feel like, wow. Some people love each other very subtly.
Yeah.
They'll just they'll do these little things like oh if they've used the bathroom before you, they'll spray air freshener so that you walk into
So
the
there's a book
bathroom
about
and not
this.
smell
Yeah,
them.
there's a great book about this
Yeah.
called Love Languages.
Love languages,
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's about what your love language is. Like some people like gestures, some people
Yep.
like subtle things and stuff like
Some
that.
people
you know?
like blowjobs. It's everyone has their own thing.
Yeah.
But my larger point was that if you're with somebody right now, don't wait for them to love you in a way that you think you want to be loved, and see if it's natural. Nothing comes naturally to most people anyway. And
Yeah.
so sit across the table and straight up ask your partner, you're
Have
like,
the
yo,
conversation.
yeah, just like, what do you want me to do? What gets you going? Like, just like, yeah, you want like 3 compliments about your ass in the week, done. Literally break it down. Believe me, it will make your life so much better, because now you're just like, I've given them the order. What's happening right now when it comes to love is it's like going to a restaurant, the cook's looking at you, you're looking at the cook, but no one's placing an order, and then you're wondering why you're still hungry.
Right. No, but I think it's beyond that as well. I think it's also how society molds us into the people that we are right now. Like if you look at, again, no problem with feminism, जो भी लौड़ा आसन करो जो भी, मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। सब अपना अपना एजेंडा लेके घूमो दुनिया में, सही है, सब सही है।
Yeah.
जेंडर से भी मेरे को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। 7.5 बिलियन लोग ना, 7.5 बिलियन जेंडर मेरे बाप का क्या जाता है? हाँ, तू टेबल है ना, तो तू टेबल पर मेरे घर पे आ लेट जा, मैं तेरे पे नाश्ता करूँगा। I'm free, open आदमी, okay? I love all. मैं खुद non-binary आदमी, मैं क्या गांड से बात कर रहा है ना? तो so it's all good, but I think certain things they get lost in translation or lost in the algorithm. Like for example, financial independence. This is something my wife and I have a lot of arguments about all the time. कि her idea of financial independence is I make money, I spend money. My idea of financial independence is I make money, I know what to do with that money to make the money work for me. Right? Am I investing it? Am I saving it? Do I have, I should know at any given time where my money is and how each segment of my money is working. That's financial independence. Because कल जाके जब मैं पैसा नहीं कमाएगा तो मैं क्या करेगा?
I think both financial habits are important. Like both your spending habits are important.
No, no. It's
Like,
not
do you
about
spend? Do you feel like you spend on a whim?
No. I have to convince myself over the course of years to make an expenditure.
But that's why I'm saying this is why your partner is so important, because that
she'll buy the table.
She'll buy the table.
No, that's the difference. I've realized she'll buy the saucepan. I'll think about the saucepan for 3 years. I'll fantasize. I'll look at every saucepan.
But which is why it's so important, because otherwise you'll only be thinking about the stuff that you
Yeah.
want to buy, and your house will be empty.
Yeah.
She will make sure that
Yeah.
there is a sofa
Yeah.
to sit in.
Yeah,
When you come home.
But I feel the idea behind the money, like, and I think it's also about communities and culture. Like, I mean, it's also about being Gujju on some level. I realize now,
Yeah.
where it's like you grow up in a Gujarati family, everything is quantified into money at some point, right? So, like, I mean, I've learned the hard way, because my parents would quantify my success through how much I made, which is like fucking pointless. Because in comedy, how much you made rarely reflects how good you are at comedy. Danny being and I being case in point, I feel. But like right now, I'm very financially secure despite not selling as many tickets as the North Indian guys because I saved money when I was 18. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like for me, the value of that is really important. My wife's family, they never discuss finances at the dinner table, bro. Never, ever, ever, ever. You know? So I feel like there are families who discuss finances, and then there are families who I feel don't care about the next generation, maybe. Because otherwise they would talk about it. Because you really need to know. You really need to know.
And
I
think with us, what has happened is we've had to learn. Like, I think with you, maybe not so much because you come from a family that thinks about these things. So financial literacy is impressed upon you very early on in life. Well, a lot of us have come from backgrounds where financial literacy was not a thing. Finance was not a thing. Yeah. Forget literacy with the dur ki baat.
Also,
you didn't even know.
I thought this would be me bitching about marriage and then Danny going, yeah, marriage sucks. But then he gave me good points and all.
That's what happens on the podcast. Like you come, you bitch about something, and then I make you realize
I thought you were
that
co-bitching.
Yeah, but we are co-bitching. But I kind of
he didn't. Did he bitch? No, like you see,
I bitch.
You made me feel worse.
I bitch. But my point being is that financial literacy is fucking important. Like if you're a young person, dude, how many I was your wife in my 20s.
Yeah.
I've become you
didn't
now.
have life insurance?
Yeah, I didn't have life
You
insurance. I didn't have life insurance. I
It's so
spent
bad.
money as I made money. I was very impulsive. The one thing I'm really proud of is that I've never been in debt.
Okay.
So I've always been cash flow positive. I've never
India
been
में
in
debt
debt.
क्या ही होता है चीज वैसे.
होता है. I mean, ask these guys.
No, and whenever I do
being-
these North Indian festivals, like,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie, man, it's mainly like comics from the north of India that this, and whenever someone goes viral, no, I call them. And I'll be like, hey, viral हो गया, congratulations, पैसा बचा बिंचू, क्या कर रहा है? Right? Because my biggest concern more than anything else is the financial stability of this industry. I want this industry to go on for another 50 years because I rely on it to make a living. You know? So every time someone goes viral, my first thing is, hey, these are the 4 financial instruments you need to be investing in or whatever the fuck. And it's like school. Exactly. See, this is the reaction I get.
But hang on.
What a nerd!
No, but one second. Why don't you actually do this where you have a session for comedians?
We did. In the pandemic, I had 3 sessions for comics to help them save money. He didn't come for any of them. You know who did though? Siddharth Dudeja did, and he's looking at almost 450% absolute returns this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, like I feel like, and I think what this all boils on. Thank you for calling me for this because I realize what this all is about.
Yeah.
I have become an uncle. I have become an uncle. I have the bubble wala game on my phone also. I'm just becoming an uncle.
Like,
Give me 2 minutes. I have to go tell kids not to play cricket next week.
this has been fun.
How you say it like this and nobody will believe you? Say it with more enthusiasm.
No, I genuinely think it's been fun. Like we've covered so many things. There were like a lot of interesting things
it like
we
you mean
spoke
it.
about. Yeah, I mean
I just told you I need validation.
Yeah, you're very good. You're very good, Akash.
Thank you.
You're very good. You're very good.
So many years of waiting for Danny to call me for a thing.
Yeah, but okay,
So many years.
Fine. I'll address it. So Akash has been around for a very long time in the industry, but he and I have always observed each other from a distance.
Yeah.
And
Cast.
Yeah. but one sec. But honest to God, in the beginning, I just felt like I couldn't vibe with you. Like
Yeah.
I was not vibing with him, and I couldn't get him as a comedian. I've seen, like, I knew he was doing something, but I couldn't vibe with it. But in the more recent times that I've seen you on screen, and on stage, and now having hung out with you a few times, I'm like, man, you're a fucking machine.
Hey, thanks, man.
Like I can't be switched on the way he is. Like this is just like, sometimes I just feel like if I'm having a dull day now, I'll just call him, put him on speaker, and just sit down. You know, ask him one question, just lay back and just kind of like, which I think is such an impressive ability to have. And even if it comes from a dark place of you being anxious all the time,
Yeah.
the way you channel it is a sight to behold. Like,
Thanks,
I've
man.
never seen anyone just, like, even now, I don't even think you're thinking it. You're just like, you'll or a punchline. एक और punchline. Here's another punchline.
I'm not good at thinking.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But my point being is that you're one of the comics in the industry I look at and go respect.
Hey, thanks, man. Because
Yeah,
it's
it's like-
mutual. It's so mutual. You know, back when Danny was the first guy who put up the special on the YouTube. Like, remember when you put out Shadows?
Shadows, yeah.
And like, I remember going on tour, the tour right after that. I was telling everyone, तुम सब लोग गांड मरा रहे हो. Danny तो कर रहा है सही में काम. Like, cause this is a guy who said fuck the table. You know what I mean? All of us in comedy, all we want is to get a seat at the fucking table with the big guys. And Danny was the first guy I saw who was just like, fuck the table, I'll make my own table if I need to, motherfucking. You know? Yeah. So like, you did it, dude. You set the path we're all on in some way.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's what I like about the Indian comedy scene in general is that you can never really credit any one person for being the godfather of Indian comedy. Like every other comedy scene, you'll say, okay, this guy's the godfather of the New York scene. This guy's the godfather of the London scene. Now in India, every single person in this industry has the capacity to do something to fucking propel us to do greater things.
Yeah.
Dude. Like I love watching comedians stuff, and I'm like, fuck, I hate this guy.
But the jokes
You know that vibe?
Yeah, dude, it sucks
so
when that happens.
when you do a set and a comic walks up to you and says, "Yeah, that was a good set," it was not a good set. When you do a set and a comedian walks up to you and goes, "Fuck, I fucking hate you,"
That's a great
That's
set.
a great set. That's when you know you've killed. And so I see a lot of comedians doing that in the industry. So yeah, I think all of us are like doing something or the other.
No, but you really set that path.
Yeah.
Like, and I think credit where it's due, man. Like, if it weren't for you just being like, हाँ बहन मैं कर लेगा produce क्या कर लोगे? You know what I mean? Like, you were the first one who made us realize if you don't get spots at open. And in fact, it was Danny's open mic only where I didn't get a spot. So I started my own open mic.
Yeah, that's actually true.
But like, it perpetuates itself, and you created
Yeah.
like you created the framework that we followed. Even
Yeah.
people who hated you still had to do your framework only.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it was great.
Which is fine. But yeah, I think this was a good bitching session. Did you have fun?
I feel lighthearted now. I will message my partner now and say, please let me come home.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Aakash Mehta.
Thank you for having me, guys.